Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, my next guest says it's time to climb aboard the magic train. We'll explain next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as you know, the real estate market has had its challenges all over the country, not so much in North Texas, but certainly all over the country. It's been slow, at least slower than it was 2 years ago. But my theory is that anytime the economy gets slow, it weeds out the people who watched $1 Million Listing and saw the commissions and said, oh, that's easy, I can do that too. So as some of the realtors leave the market, the strong survive. And my next guest is just such a person, Kim Maher. She's with the Magic Train. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I first want to brag about you because you got into real estate some 2 decades ago, and you truly climbed to the very tippy top.
I did.
Yeah. What percentage?
I did. I was in the top 3%. And my company name is called Maher Magic. And it's bringing real estate, value in real estate all over across the Dallas Metroplex.
Sure.
And beyond, because I was invited to go talk to agents across the country.
Wow.
To tell them how I got so successful.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we're going to pull up her website, and of all the real estate websites I've seen, this one is just stands above the rest. And I mean, it's beautifully made and shows all the properties that are listed right now. How many years did it take you to climb to the very tippy top?
So I have to be honest with you.
Sure.
I got my license back 25 years ago, but I was able to be a stay-at-home mom, and I kind of put my license on the back burner. My husband was a residential real estate appraiser, and our company was called Appraisal House. And all of our life we just kind of did appraising. I was a stay-at-home mom. It wasn't until 2019 that I really said, okay, what do I do with my life? And Maher Magic was born.
Wow.
So I climbed really quick. 2019, I got my license back activated. And then I climbed up to the top in the top 3% the following year.
That's incredible.
It was incredible. It is incredible. It's hard work.
Sure.
And it was a lot, it was 17-hour days. And I had to also sacrifice some things in my life in order to do so.
Okay,
So,
I want to put up a graphic. This is from D Magazine, and
oh my goodness.
best of D 2023. So, I mean, that has to feel good. You were probably the envy of the industry.
It does. I've got that ego complex of being the hero,
Yes.
and bringing magic into people's lives, and everybody fixing everything.
Sure.
I'm a fixer, so. For me, it was like, oh my gosh, the best of all worlds. I thought I was just absolutely invincible and loved it.
During this period, you came up with something called the Magic Train. So explain what that is.
So the Magic Train is a concept where I want all of my clients, I want to bring so much magic into their lives that they would just jump on board my train and never get off the train. They would always stay on for life, like they're a client for life. That's how that was brought about. So it's like, jump on board my magic train and I'm not going to let you off.
I love it. Okay, we're gonna pull up the magictrain.net. This is your other website, and this is a part of your speaking career. You've got a book coming out. What are some things that you want people to know about attracting clients and, most importantly, keeping them for life?
You have to bring value. You have to figure out what is the problem and solve the problem at hand. And it goes, I've found it goes so much further than just real estate for me. This is a passion of really taking a deep dive into, your life and seeing how you can live your best self and live your best life. And you've got to do it in 3 ways, looking at your mind, body, and soul perspective. Yes. And when my train, it was going fast, I mean, it went really, really fast, and I loved every moment of it. But if you don't remember, back in 2022, October, I saw a little market shift because the interest rates started to go up. And so when that happened and I slowed down, I know I love the busyness. I love being busy and feeling, it makes me feel good. But when I slowed down, I had to look in the mirror and say, okay, we got to get my train back and running smooth. How are we going to do that?
Absolutely.
So it went beyond real estate then at that point.
And I think you also have valuable lessons in making sure that you put your oxygen mask on first. 17-hour days is really not sustainable for the mind, body, spirit.
So what happened was, Jeff, is I looked in the mirror when that happened, and I realized, wow, where did I go? I had wrinkles where I hadn't had them before. I had gray hair where they weren't. I wondered where my youngest was, who was in high school at the time, and now she went away to college. Where did she go? Those meals that I cooked every night, I didn't cook a meal for 2 years because I was working. Right. And I was loving it. And it was like I was in a hamster. I figured out I was in a hamster wheel. I kept running around in circles. And when it stopped, I was like, uh-oh, we've got a problem. The train's derailed. My train is derailed.
And one of the blessings, because, there's always a blessing somewhere, and you got a chance to work with your daughter, Lucy, which I think is really cool.
She's amazing.
Talk about that.
She is absolutely amazing and a joy. And she's sitting out here right now. I wish I could bring her up here. She's looking at me and she's getting teary-eyed. And it's hard to kind of keep it together because, every mom just loves her kids and wants the absolute best for them. So my bright idea was to, after she graduated, to bring her on and have her get her license. And she did. And unfortunately, Jeff, the day that she came on board was the day my phone stopped ringing. And I went from being in the top 2% to now not having any business and having to dissect it and realizing that, it might be a little more than a market swing. It might be God might be telling me something else. And we have been on an incredible journey since. And that's what I'm here to kind of teach people how to do.
Well, so, I'm looking over at your daughter right now.
She's just a mess. She's I know.
Holding her cross.
She's
and
so cute.
Smiling at the television set. You've done a great job. And I think children learn by watching mom and dad, and she saw you get through some adversity.
Yeah.
And so there are valuable life lessons in tough times.
Yes. Valuable that I would never have learned. And I have grown so much in the past 2 years. And look, just like with every business, your business is going to ebb and flow. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. The real estate market is going to come back. In fact, I think it's going to come back very strong. I don't know when that's going to be, but you have to, during that time, it's a time to grow yourself and to figure out, look, how can I be my best self? How can I grow? So, I always say a prayer, Jeff, and my prayer is always this: Dear God, make me the best I can be today and put in front of me people I need to meet. And that prayer has served me well. So.
Okay, so let's talk about the parts of the Magic Train.
Mm-hmm. So here are the parts. I believe that your track has been laid before you're born. Okay? I believe that I am so, I feel like I'm the conductor all the time. I want to control everything and every move my train makes. But the reality is you're not the conductor. God is. Now, you are the locomotive engineer. You can decide how fast or slow your train goes. You can decide what town you stop in. You can decide who you let on your train and who you let off your train. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, your track is always beneath you. Ultimately, God is the conductor. And there are ways, the first thing you need to do is figure out how to communicate with God, number one. And there are different ways, and we don't have time to go through that, but there are different ways that God communicates with me. As far as your mind, the mindset is key, being grateful for what you have. And then your body, that's a whole nother show, talking about, the bacteria and the chemicals, in your body and the hormones being released, making sure those are all okay in order for you to have a clear mindset.
Wow.
So the train encompasses mind, body, and soul.
Oh my goodness, we're going to have you back. I could talk to you all day long. We're going to end with both of her websites. First, the real estate website, which is mayormagic.com. And then her speaking website is themagictrain.net.
Yes.
Kim Maher, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
That's
Perfect.
it. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Okay.